If you're ambitious but lazy, you're not alone. And I'm going to share exactly the step-by-step framework where every time I realize just how ambitious I am, and then when I realize what I need to do, it's about doing the actual thing that takes me forward, right? So this video right here, you know how long it took me because of my ambitious self to actually sit here and record in this fashion? Longer than you would have ever imagined. But here I am right now. I'm recording. I'm doing the thing, right? But how did I get here, right? You can say I'm lazy. You can say that in my brain, I was thinking multiple times just in my head of, yeah, I'm going to do that and it's going to go this way. And, when I'm sitting here, the lighting's going to be like this, the audio's over here. I'm going to look straight into camera and then this is what I'm going to say. It's like all of those thoughts, right? All those thoughts are like realization of you already seeing the thing that you're thinking about come to fruition. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to, visualize or to manifest or just to think like, yeah, it's already here. Like all these things are great, right? But if I ask you, what do you have to show for it? Which is basically the question I ask myself. I have these beautiful thoughts, clean thoughts, very, nice thoughts. But what do I have to show for it? So this video right here is basically my tangible, physical proof, even if it's in the cloud and online in a video file. The point is I'm sharing the fact that, hey, I've thought a lot because of my ambition, and sure, I'm lazy, but now I have the proof of concept that I'm able to say that, yeah, I did this thing, which is the whole point of people who are ambitious, to actually have something to speak for their ambition. Or else ambition without any basically fruits is what? It's just a bunch of wishes. It's like that expression, right? Every goal that doesn't have a plan is what? It's a dream. It's a dream because whether it happened or not, who cares? The goal was never hit. It never happened, aka a dream. And when that sunk in for me the first time, I was like, dang, I really need to be more mindful of my actions because it's easy to fool yourself. We've all been there, like, and it's all good, right? You can make yourself happier, make yourself feel sadder, make yourself, when you're younger, maybe, seek more attention just for whatever reason, right? And all this logics aside, right? It's just straight to the point. If you have ambition, you and me are not any different. You want the same thing. Maybe it's not the same specific thing, but whatever that thing is, right? Success, money, fame, what have us, right? You have the ambition. So that's great. So what's next? What's next is the meta within this what's next is literally that is what's needed next. That may sound confusing. So in general terms, MINS, MINS, the most important next step. If you know what the most important next step is, you're able to take action. And it's not about, the biggest step you need to take. It can be a micro step. For example, this video right here. What's going on here, right? If we really think about it, I'm sitting here, we're talking, all the things, right? But this didn't just magically happen. Like this is the first time I'm filming in this location very specifically. And if you want to know, I'm at a co-working space where there's a bunch of other people here in other rooms and whatnot, and they're doing their thing. And that's okay. They're just doing their thing. But you know that expression? You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself around. In other words, your net worth is your net work. What I would say is like that's insanely true in my life to where I came here today. And what that means is I know there's people that are grinding on whatever they believe, that they want, right? That ambition, whatever they want, right? It's about the energy, like from a higher level, right? Forget about the specifics. It's just like energy transfer, like this in physics, right? Energy can't be created, it can only be transferred. But when you have all these people that are around you, it's not like they're transferring their energy necessarily. But if you're open to receiving it, it's the same difference. Whether they're giving it or you're receiving it or someone's cheering you on or you're cheering on someone else, in the end of the day, you all are getting further than you are right now. So the most important next step for what you're trying to achieve for me was what? It's me knowing, okay, hey, just, have some solace, find a room like this where no one's going to bother me, hopefully, right? And that was someone right there just trying to bother me. No, I'm joking. But the point is that it's like, hey, solitude, cool. Am I planned with a plan of action? Yes, I am. What's next? Okay, hey, sit myself down, turn on this, just press record, as they say, and just go at it. So what I'm demonstrating to us is proof that I'm taking those incremental steps towards the bigger goal, because this one video is what? It's a foundational block towards the overall channel, right? You could say, which it's me basically telling my younger self, or if I'm speaking to you, it's me saying, hey, I'm really happy you're here watching this right now. but think about your own basically goal or overarching, milestone that you're trying to hit. What do you need to do? Is it sitting here and watching this video? Probably not. But this will reinforce, like I've watched many videos like this, where it's like, okay, there's others like me, which is so much more important, believe it or not, to actually say that, yeah, I'm not that crazy guy who's alone, who has all this ambition. But then when you look at it, it comes off like, well, I'm not really doing anything about it. But the reason is, guess what? I'm basically saying the environment, whether that's the people, whether it's this kind of room that I'm in, where like I'm just able to speak to us, right? Like just like this, and other environmental factors. For example, I have this water in this co-working space. It's a sparkling water. And the point is like, I really like it and that's cool, right? But it's those small things that's like, that may be the dopamine hit, right? For example, of like, oh, having this water, or hey, the dopamine hit of just being able to talk freely and just express my thoughts, because that's what I enjoy to do. Given that, if I had someone to say that, yeah, it's okay to do this, then maybe I wouldn't feel so, restricted or otherwise, growing up and not knowing really what's right. So that's going a little too into the weeds. So for us, if you're ambitious but lazy, what is it? Take the most important next step. And when you take that next step, don't forget that along the way, that incremental next step may be harder, but always remember how much gratitude you can actually give yourself for taking the amount of steps that you've taken thus far. In other words, if you just, went from zero to millionaire overnight, or like a jackpot winning from a lottery, like cool, right? But the truth of the lessons learned along the journey, it doesn't need to be like I hate this journey or I don't. It's about why are you doing what you're doing? And if you know like you're ambitious because you want your why to be, realized and it's a real thing, then I always think, okay, if you can't think in the present and you can't look back in the past for all the work you've done, think about your future self. Think about that 85, 95-year-old version of yourself. And for me, it always hits the same, If I look at that older individual, there's a person known as Alex Hermosi, and he calls this person Solomon. And so, like, what would Solomon say? What would Solomon do? In other words, it's kind of the, what would the older version of yourself basically, feel or do or think? And for me, I would rather try each and every second of every moment, because in the future, it's not about regret. It's about in the future, you can't even do the thing. So it's like, just enjoy the moment, because later you may not get to enjoy it. And later, when you look later, you're like, oh man, I wish I did it. And so it sounds like regret. But to be honest, if you don't take these steps today, what's going to actually happen? You're really discounting and discrediting and actually taking away, it's like borrowing credit from your future self. Like, let's be real. And when I actually think about that reality, it pushes me to say, like, hey, I'm glad I'm sharing this message with you here right now, but it makes me want to stop and share the next lesson, because that's just what I wish, I could have from, the equivalent version of me on the other side of the screen of all these videos I've watched. So hopefully that overarching picture just puts it into frame, right? Of you're ambitious, I'm ambitious, but laziness, it's like, come on, man. You know? It's like, why? You don't really get paid to be lazy. Do you get paid to do a lot of work? Not necessarily. But I'd rather try than not. Because why not? Good luck. See you in the next one. Peace.